Hey guys, great news! QForce finally came out the Vita. The bad news, it sucks! It is so bad! I am so sorry for all you people that were looking forward to it like me. And it's like Aliens Colonial Marines again. Not in terms of like developers lying to us and, you know, inaccurate representations of in-game products, blah blah blah, all that stuff that they're getting sued over. It's just the hype looking forward to it, and we finally get it. It's just such a letdown. To sum it up, it's a glorified PSP game, in a way. So, anyway, after about an hour and a half, or 3 hours, whatever, downloading, it's 3 gigabytes. Right, that's same as Uncharted and the Metal Gear Solid HD collection stuff. So you'd think it'd be awesome, or like a huge ass thing, but it's not! And it was 3 gigabytes on the PS3 version. And it's 3 gigabytes on the PS Vita version as well. So once you fire it up, you're greeted with one of the PS Vita's infamous long loading screens. And after that, you know the start menu, that cool QForce start menu that you've got on the PS3 version that's, just typical, push start to join game. It's got Ratchet under his ship, tweaking it a bit, and Clank just standing there. Well, it's like they took that image, zoomed in, turned everything super dark, and tweaked it with PS1 graphics, because it just looks bad, and it's just the start menu. I knew as soon as I didn't even play the game, just a long ass loading screen, and the terrible start menu was enough to turn me off. Then you get to the actual menu. Thankfully the cloud save works, although I don't see why you'd want to do it, because if you played it on the PS3, all your trophies are copied over from, your PS3 version onto your PS Vita version. You don't re-get the trophies, it doesn't pop up, it's a shared trophy list like I said in my previous video. So if you're like me and you've already platinumed it, there's nothing new. So yeah, online, I haven't tried, and quite frankly, I don't really want to try, but apparently it's like a little bit muted, smaller version of the actual PS3 version. Like, instead of 4v4, it's only... No, instead of 2v2, it's only 1v1 sort of stuff, so you can't do 4 players. Anyway, the single player, the graphics are so bad. Like, for a Vita game, I mean. Like, I wasn't expecting it to be awesome like the PS3 version, but it's like a PlayStation 1 game. Maybe it's a bit harsh. It's more like a PS2 game. But it's just like a PSP. Because, I mean, the PSP had, graphics. I guess. They weren't pixelated stuff. They had proper, you could see what you were playing. And it's sort of like that. Or like a PS2 version. But, that's just the graphics. Alright, the frame rate is terrible. There's tearing, lag, and frame rate issues. As soon as I started the game, I, did the typical walk forward, jump, and, swing wrench. Well, literally, because the frame rate is so bad, you don't actually see him swing the wrench. It'll be here, and you'll push square button, and then, no, he'll be standing normally, and you'll push the square button, and then his wrench will be out there. And it'll have, like, the blaze behind it, for whatever reason, when you swing the wrench, it leaves, like, a little trail behind. So you don't actually see him go swing. He just magically goes, huh, I have swung my wrench. And that's just the half of it. Tearing. If you don't know what tearing is, look it up. It's pretty much when you've got like an image that's split like that. So like my head would be here and my body would be about there. That's what I mean. There's that all over the place. But yeah, the frame rate's so bad and the graphics are just... And I haven't even gotten to the gameplay. The gameplay, the one thing I knew I was going to be worried about is the hover boot. Because what you do is you constantly, in the PS3 version, you constantly R2 to hover boot your way through the level, and then it's, R1, L1 to like aim and shoot, that sort of stuff. Well, the Vita doesn't have an R2, does it? So I was worrying, how are they going to use the hover boots? I thought they might do like Gravity Rush did, and do the hold the touchscreen, sensor controls, yada yada, but no, they put the circle button, which is alright. Except, a huge problem I have with this game is I don't know why it does it. When you're using the hover boots, the camera doesn't turn, which sucks. So you're constantly stuck facing forward. This is most of the time. So when you push circle, you use the hover boot, you go forward, and if you got to turn, the camera doesn't turn, so you can just go anyway. And you can literally hover boot towards the screen, like towards yourself, and you have no idea where you're going. And you have to, actually take your finger off the circle button to move the camera, and that just gets annoying. But the thing is, it randomly fixes itself every now and then. Like, it just seems random whether it wants to work or not, because sometimes you'll be hover booting and you can't, and the camera doesn't move, and then other times you will, and the camera will move by itself. And so yeah, there is lag, there is frame rate issues, there's tearing, the graphics are just not impressive, alright? I don't see why anyone would want to buy this. This is my first impressions video, and, well, quite frankly, I'm thinking of deleting it already. Like, I do an information video, and I've been asked to do some gameplay, so I'll force myself to do some gameplay videos. But it's just, it's like they took something awesome, the PS3 version, and they just, it's like the opposite of an HD remix. It's like what we got on the Vita version was the original PS2 game, and the PS3 version is like the modern day remake of that game. It's that step backwards. I mean, I give credit to Tin Giant for porting it. It's not a port, guys. Stop calling it a port. It's not a port. It's the supposedly rebuilt terribly, but I don't see why it took this long to come out, because I can see if it takes for ages for the game to come out because they're working on it, making it better. Well, this isn't better. This is not better. This is bad. And it's by far not the worst game I've ever played. But, hang on. Just not the worst game I've ever played. Nothing beats TMNT on the PSP. Anyway, we've been waiting for this for so long, and then we get it, and it's such a disappointment. So my news is, if for whatever reason you want to buy it, buy the chip version, which is weird. There is supposedly a cartridge version of the game, but I went into the store the other day to see how much it was in the store, like, you know, in real life, not in the PlayStation store, and they didn't have any there, which I thought was weird when they should have. And the PlayStation store has it. Sorry, I don't know the exact cost of it, and I'm not going to work it out because it's different for everyone, you know, New Zealand dollars, Australian dollars, Europe dollars, yen, pence, crap, florins, bolts, precursor orbs, all that crap. I can't be bothered working out the currency. But, yeah, it's not worth the price. It's almost the same price as the PS3 version, and for that you might as well just get it for cross-buy. But do not buy it for a cross-buy game. If you see one in a store pre-owned, and it's maybe like $10 cheaper than it brand new, and you're thinking, oh, but it's cross-buy and I may want to use it for the Vita, don't. Just save yourself $10, get a pre-owned version of the PS3 version. Because the PS3 version is still good. And another thing that took me by surprise is that I haven't played it in so long, because I pretty much played it within a week. Like, I loved it that much. But all the updates and stuff that are on the PS3 version, some of it's carried over to the Vita version, because once you download the game, there's like another 300 megabyte update, depending on where you live. Apparently some people it's only 2 gigabytes. It's messed up. It should be the same for everyone, but it's not. And the updates have some of the PS3 version updates, so if you're like me, you'll be using some weapons, and you'll use them once, and then it'll say, level 5 unlocked, where previously it's max level 3, and you don't even have to level up. You use a gun, and it goes straight to level 5. So yeah, I'm sorry this video has been so long, but if I was to give this a mark, I would almost say maybe 3 out of 10, just off the top of my head, because it's just not fun to play, and it's that hard to play. Like, for example, like, if the hover boot decides to work, just zipping around is a challenge, at least, because you'll find yourself hitting enemies, and that little mini game where you've got the circle to capture the nodes, and you've got, if you tap the X button right on the little white part, you get like a little extra couple of bolts and stuff. That's almost impossible because of the lag. Like, you push the X button and it won't actually activate until like a split second after. And that's another thing, the lag is just, you push jump, like before you go off the, like, here's the ledge, and you push the X button. You have to push the X button back here for him to actually jump in time. And that's hard enough because you don't have a shadow, and it's almost impossible to tell where you're going to land because the platforms and everything, it is like playing an old-fashioned PS1 game like Crash Bandicoot, where it's like you jump forward, and if you land, then you're lucky. If you don't, then you fall to your death and start all over again. Thankfully, this game actually does have, you know, saving, cross-saving, that sort of stuff. So, yeah, sorry that this video is long, but this is my first impressions, and probably my continued impressions. I don't think it's going to get much better. My opinions will probably stay how it is now, unless, you know, they magically redo all the graphics, fix all the lag and all the frame rate and the tearing and all that stuff. I'm sorry. I was looking forward to this, and so were so many other people. And we got this. I mean, they couldn't even be bothered giving it like a decent bubble. Yeah, see what I mean? You know, like, when you unlock the screen, yeah, I'm Batman. They got their own little bubble sort of thing. Whatever you want to call them. See, they couldn't even be bothered thinking of their own one. They just took the live area screen and shrunk it down. into like a little bubble, so it doesn't even look good. It looks, you can't see it on the screen. It just looks like a crappy thumbnail thing. It's horrible. So this is not the worst game ever, but I would not recommend you buying this for the Vita. Seriously, that hurts for me. I've never been disappointed with Ratchet Clank all my life. Like, I've been a fan since like number 1 came out on the old demo disc days of the PS2, and to have something like this happen, I seriously hope that they do a Ratchet Clank for the Vita, or at least another Ratchet Clank before the movie comes out, because if this is the last Ratchet Clank thing they bring out before the Ratchet Clank movie in 2015, then you're going to lose half your fans, for those of you that have a Vita. Like, so pretty much, if you've got a 32GB memory stick, like me, and you've bought the PS3 version and you get this for free, then if you've got, you know, 7 gigs free, you might as well download this, you know, if you got plenty of stuff free, just for, not even for a lol, it's not even funny. But, yes, give it a try, and if you don't like it, delete it. If not, then... And another thing that gets me, Ratchet Deadlocked is out for people in America, Ratchet Gladiator isn't. Why are you doing this to your fans?